And we were on the point of getting the boat. There was a boat in San Diego which I decided to buy. One boat hadn't passed a test already of Lloyd's, so I hadn't bought it. This one we were just testing. And one day in the sitting room in the morning, I was sitting there, and Ibu said, "You look worried," or something. And I said, "Well, I'm thinking about, we're on the point of buying this boat and starting a new life on a boat. Just wanting to make sure it's all right." So we'd asked Babak already, and he said, "Yes, bike." And she said, "Go ask Babak. He's in his bedroom." It was a tiny house, we were all close to things. And I confess, I shrank. I was shy to go and knock at Babak's bedroom and ask him to give me advice on a boat. And I missed the opportunity. She said, "Just go in, knock, like that, Papa." And I hesitated and I paused, and then something different changed. Someone came in, it was all interrupted, and the moment passed. So I never asked at that moment. I don't know what his answer would be. But from then on, we bought the boat. And we started a life in America. All kinds of adventures. That's another story and a long one. But at that moment, we went up to, we were lying in Los Angeles, where we refitted, and Papa came on board and had lunch on board with us, and we took him round in the speed launch around the harbour, looking at yachts and things, and he was then going off to Disneyland. And incidentally, in that, Babak, as you probably know, always ate alone with Ibu, and it was suitable for husband and wife to eat alone, rather. It's different from, and in Coombe and everywhere else, really. But there was no room on the boat to sort of separate divisions, so he happily ate with us, and the food was all right, everything was all right. And to me that's interesting as a footnote, because many legends grew up about Babak that had to have very special food, and he was very sensitive to food and so on. And it's true, at Coombe at one point he wasn't eating at all, and as we said yesterday, that was changed, and finally he had two people who cooked for him all the time, Irina Hall and
Miriam Kibble.
Miriam Kibble, that's right. Well, now I've seen Babak have bad experiences with food, but to me, observing on it, really what was heaviest to bear is when food is done with people with very strong emotional feelings about it. People with total devotion, perhaps, but with a heaviness of emotion in it has an effect. Whereas Baba going to an airport and having a steak goes fine. I've done that, New York airport. No problems at all. On board with our cook, no problems at all. But I know one house where, and we won't locate it geographically, where Latihan was quarter of an hour late, which was unusual, and then finally it took place, and later Safraddin said to me, "And how was it for you with the food?" Oh, insensitive me. I said, "Oh, very good, delicious." And he said, "Ah, well, you're lucky." But Babak was sensible. He let it go. I have it now, it'll be with me for 3 days.
Yes.
But ordinary, so that's how I assess that, rightly or wrongly. But ordinary ones, like on our boat, no problems. Well, we then set out, and we went up to Seattle, and to Vancouver. And Bapak was going between San Francisco and Los Angeles, opening up the groups there. And we, meanwhile, had gone up. And in Vancouver, we went up there partly to get some charter, because the yacht was proving extremely expensive with American crews, whereas we'd hoped to have European crews. And we thought we'd better get some charter. Didn't happen. But we went up to Vancouver, and there made contact with a businessman whom I'd had contact with before, asked him on board, and he said that he had to leave because he had something very important that evening. Had we by any chance ever been interested in spiritual things? So I said, well, yes, as a matter of fact. And he took us to what turned out to be a mediumistic seance. And personally, I'm very open to anything, as long as people worship something higher. I exclude no one from my view of the direction we go in. And so, of all surprising things, for the first and last time in my life, we attended a seance, spiritualistic. Well, it turned out that there's a group in Vancouver who did rather special things in the spiritual world, and they had received that they should not go in for all the ordinary activities of spiritualism. They should wait and be open to receive something that would come to them. One of them had had a dream about a boat, and when we appeared, they said, well, this is most extraordinary, tell us what you have. So we told them about SUBUD. They then tested about Bapak, is Bapak SUBUD, is he alive? And the Ouija board or whatever said yes. Is he dead? Yes. This surprised them. Bapak was in both worlds from their point of view. And they asked to hear more about SUBUD. So we said, all right, come on the boat. And we took 5 of them, man and his wife, the principal people in the group. He was also a very effectual healer. And they came on board with their children for 3 weeks cruise in the islands, the inlets behind the island of Vancouver. And we're doing Latihan all the time. We opened them, did Latihan, and this one businessman came on a chartered plane to land alongside us in the inlet and take part for the weekend at Vancouver. And that started the Vancouver group. When we got back to Vancouver, this healer said, would you like to meet all the people that I have contact with? I said, yes, we would. And we met them all, we talked to all of them, we opened 70 people in 2 weeks, and yes, and it's a very strong group still going in Vancouver.